Hello. Good morning, Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar, Adab, Vanakkam, and a very warm welcome to all of you in this international seminar on empowering TVET via future skills and emerging technologies in the 21st century. Our guests are arriving shortly, and may I request you to please welcome them with a round of applause, please. They are on the way. They'll be arriving shortly. Professor Sanjay Tiwari, sir. Vice Chancellor Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University is the chief guest of this session. And Professor Dheeraj Kumar, sir. He is ex-director, Madhya Pradesh NID. So we are waiting for them. Please bear with us.
लिंक वही पहले वाला लिए थे माइक कौन सा डाला है क्या इसका माइक चल रहा है नहीं ये भी है ना अभी आ रहा है कुछ ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा है क्या बोल रहा है
Please put your hands together and welcome our chief guest, Honorable Professor Sanjay Tiwari sir, Vice Chancellor, Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University, Honorable Director NITTTR and NITTTR Bhopal, Professor Tripathi sir, Honorable DG, Director General, CPSC Manila, Professor Suresh Kumar Thamija sir, Honorable Dheeraj Kumar sir, Honorable Professor Rajesh Kambaya sir. A very warm welcome to all of you on the dais. May I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please light the lamps and mark the start of the inaugural session of International Seminar on Empowering TVET with Future Skills and Emerging Technologies in 21st Century. May I request our colleagues, Mrs. Rachna Gupta and Mrs. Shweta Mani, please present Ma Saraswati's Vandana.
अम्ब विमलमति दे, अम्ब विमलमति दे, जग सिर मोर बनाए भारत, वह बल विक्रम दे, अम्ब विमलमति दे, साहसशील हृदय में भर दे, जीवन त्याग तपोमय कर दे, संयम सत्य सिंह कावर दे, स्वाभिमान भर दे, अम्ब विमलमति दे, हे हंस वाहिनी ज्ञानदायिनी, अम्ब विमलमति दे, अम्ब विमलमति दे, लव कुश ध्रुव प्रहलाद बने हम, मानवता का त्रास हरे हम, सीता सावित्री दुर्गा माँ, फिर घर घर भर दे, अम्ब विमलमति दे, हे हंस वाहिनी ज्ञानदायिनी, अम्ब विमलमति दे, अम्ब विमलमति दे, अम्ब विमलमति दे.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Rachna and Mrs. Shweta Mani, and thank you, Dayas. Shubham karoti kalyanam, arogyam dhana sampada, shatru buddhi vinashai, deepo jyoti namastatai. And with this, we begin the program. Honorable Chief Guest of the session, Professor Sanjay Tiwari sir, Vice Chancellor, Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University. Honorable Dr. Dheeraj Kumar sir, former Director NIIT Bhopal. Honorable Professor C.C. Tripathi sir, Director NITTTR Bhopal. Honorable Dr. S.K. Thamija sir, Director General CPSC Manila. Honorable Shri Keshavan sir, Honorable Professor Sanjay Agrawal sir, Honorable Professor R.P. Kambaya sir, all the delegates from CPSC member countries, all the invited guests, all the participants registered here, all the dignitaries of academia and administration, faculty, officers, and ladies and gentlemen of present over here. A very warm welcome to all of you in this inaugural session of International Seminar on Empowering TVET with Future Skills and Emerging Technologies in 21st Century. I, on behalf of NITTTR Bhopal and CPSC Manila, because this program is being organized jointly by CPSC Manila and NITTTR Bhopal, welcome you all in this inaugural session. May I request Professor Tripathi sir to please present a bouquet to our chief guest and welcome him. A sapling is presented by Professor C.C. Tripathi sir to our chief guest, Professor Sanjay Tiwari ji. I again request Professor Tripathi sir to please present a sapling and welcome Dr. Dheeraj Kumar sir. Professor Dhamija sir is requested to please present a bouquet to our chief guest, Professor Sanjay Tiwari sir. Professor Dr. Dhamija sir is again requested to please present a sapling and welcome Dr. Dheeraj Kumar sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And now I request the coordinator of the program, Professor R.P. Khambai, sir, to please welcome all with his words.
A very good morning to all of you. Honorable Dr. Sanjay Tiwari, sir, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University, our beloved Director General, Dr. Suresh Dhameja, CPSC Manila, respected Dr. C.C. Tripathi, our beloved Director, NITTTR Bhopal, our today's distinguished speaker, Dr. Dheeraj Kumar, the former Director of NIT Bhopal, most importantly, our esteemed delegates from the CPSC region, distinguished participants, delegates, invited guests from industry, institution, organizations, our own participant of various training programs that have been taking place at NITTR Bhopal, my colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it's a distinct honor to welcome you all to the first, this year's first international seminar that we are going to witness on the future skills and emerging technology. I don't think there is any platform where these things are not being discussed. And probably we are also deliberating and discussing on this one, and there are many things to be discussed. Today we all have gathered here to basically to explore how we can bring the transformative potential of TVET, particularly in shaping the future, and more particularly the global workforce, which India has a huge potential. Even the Asia Pacific region has a huge potential to provide the skilled manpower for the future. As we witness the technological development, I think we are at such a juncture. We all, as an educator, have to think about it, that how are we going to equip the skills, prepare our youth for the skills of the future. And this is very important because we are in a very rapidly evolving technological era and all that one. As we deliberate upon this one, it is also pertinent to examine what is the current state of affairs, where are we standing today. And for the August House, it will be of interest to know that there are two distinct publications which I came across. One is on the World Bank report, the Jobs for Resilience, very recently published this year. And another very distinct report is by the International Labour Organization, which gives a deep insight what is happening on the ground. The fundamental challenge is that there has been a rapid growth in terms of educated youth. But finding the gainful employment, the right employment, is a matter of concern. Women particularly, the more educated find more challenges into the labor market, finding the suitable job. 1 in 2 Indian, I repeat, 1 in 2 Indian is not fit for the employment. So this is really a matter of concern, because the skill set that is required for the future jobs are not present in our youth. And that's why it's a matter of concern for all of us today. Government of India and many Asia Pacific countries have taken many policy directives, many policy initiatives to bring the transformative changes that is really required to prepare the youth for the future and all that one. So rapid technological development, digitalizations, all calls for a new thinking that how are we going to prepare the youth for the future. These two reports distinctly highlighted 4 to 5 pillars that should be the matter of direction that we should follow. And I hope these pillars will also be reflected and deliberated during this seminar that we are going to see this day. The first important is that how are we going to promote job creation? Because a country like India, if I remind ourselves, it's almost 7 decades. For the last 7 decades, agriculture is still the dominating sector for providing employment to the largest population in India. Manufacturing is the last one. Services stands on second, and construction sector stands at number 3. So this is the job profile or employment profile you can think about it that's happening into it. So service sector is coming in a big way. So promoting job creation, this is number 1. Improving the employment quality, that is another area that we have to look into it. Addressing the labor market inequalities. This is a big area and it needs a detailed deliberation on this on how we can address the labor inequality, and that's rising across Asia Pacific. Strengthening the skills and active labor market policies, and most importantly, one of the factors why this all happening is we need to bridge the knowledge deficit on the labor market patterns and the youth employment. So the labor intelligence really needs to be built in. We really need to develop a system where the labor intelligence, market intelligence is brought in, and the policies are so dynamic that we take the reflection from that one and address all those things. So I hope you can look at these 2 reports. It will be a valuable insight for all of us as a policy maker, as a practitioner, that how we are going to prepare the youth in this changing dynamics and all that one. So with all this thing, I think this seminar, the title is very timely, and we are going to have wonderful deliberation in the next almost half a day almost. So as far as seminar is concerned, there are 1 keynote presentation will be there by Director General CPSC. We'll be throwing the insight on us that how the change management is very important, how the leadership role has to play in this transformative change that is happening in TVET. And followed by, we'll have plenary session where we'll have 2 distinct presentations, one by Honorable Dr. Tripathi sir, who is going to give us a new school of thought. We have been talking about accreditation, quality and all that. So how industries are embedding this aspect through SIRI index 4.0 for industry 4.0. So he will be educating all of us and how it can be made applicable, especially for the TVET institutions and all that. Last but not the least, we are also going to see a very important presentation by Honorable Dr. Dheeraj Kumar. He's going to talk about the pedagogical practices, because the lecture method will not do. So what are the innovative and what are the more futuristic oriented pedagogical changes that we have to bring into teaching learning? So we are all going to dwell upon it. So with these words, once again, distinguished panelists, distinguished guests, thank you for joining us, and most importantly, all of you for your gracious presence to be a part of this. Thank you, and wish you a very productive time in this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kambad, for the brief overview. And now I would request Director NITTTR Bhopal, Dr. C.C. Tripathi sir, to please present his opening remark with these words कि मैं जानता हूँ फितरत, मेहनत और हिम्मत हमारे संघ की, हम मिलकर जो भी करेंगे कुछ कमाल का ही करेंगे. Honorable Professor Tripathi sir.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Today's chief guest and my good friend Dr. Sanjay Tiwari ji, the Vice Chancellor Bhoj, Open University Bhopal. I requested sir in the last week that sir you please spare some time, and he was very kind enough to be with us even though he is very busy. So we are really grateful to you for sparing your valuable time, being with us, guiding our participants. We welcome you here. I welcome Professor Dheeraj Kumar, ex-director NID, National Institute of Design, Bhopal. Many people know him. He's a man of creativity, creative thinking, and expert in the field of design. Sir, we welcome you here for coming from Delhi. That been this morning. Your flight was late, but you could manage us with us. We welcome you, sir. We have another guest, Honorable Sri C.P. Sharma, sir, but he could not be with us because he is still in the journey. He was coming from Lucknow, so his train was late, so he is not here. And the most honored, Dr. Dheeraj, our Dhamija sir, the Director General of the CPSC. Because of his initiative, this program is happening here. And therefore, he deserves a lot of appreciation and thanks for being with us, and that too for supervising this program for 5 days, from Monday to Friday, coming from the Philippines, Manila, for this program exclusively. I also welcome the Keswan sir, the governing body faculty for this CPSC program, who keeps traveling from one country to other country for conducting these kind of programs all across the Asian country. My faculty colleague, Professor Sanjay Agarwal and Professor Khambayar, for doing tremendous efforts to organize this program successfully. My dear participants from the CPSC country, I don't know how they are, the weather condition is for them. They are coming, most of them coming for the first time in India. Bhopal is really new to all of them. Our food habits are also different than most of the other part of this Asian country. And our own faculty members, participants, and people from the local institutions, industries. I think everything has already said by the Professor Khambayar. So there is no any other scope to say about the TVET, empowering TVET, and that to be the future skills. In my opinion, TVET needs a complete destructive change. It's a not kind of conventional education. It is something which is to be done by the heart, it is to be done by the hands, with the full engagement of mind and body. So TVET needs a different, altogether different approach. Probably, like in our country, from at least last 20-30 years I have been listening that there should be a strong interaction between industry and academia. I personally feel that industry and academia should not be two entities different, but for the TVET in particular, there should be same entity. I mean, industry should be in academia. And a lot of development is taking place in many institutions in the form of incubation and innovation center, partially to reflect the attributes which industry possesses, but it is still to be done more than what is happening in the form of incubation and innovation centers in many good institutions. For TVET to happen, to prepare the future manpower and skills required for the future generation, the institutions should rather embed the industrial activities within their campuses, rather than looking just for the looking support from industry from outside. I don't know to what extent all of us will agree. The reason could be the kind of environment we have been working from last 60, 70 years since independence. But it is a need of the hour. The kind of technology is changing. A long back when I was serving in industry, once upon I happened to visit this picture tube manufacturing company in Mohali near Chandigarh. I saw that that company was Samtel, company named Samtel. It was spread over around 700, 800 meters in length, 600 to 800 meters. And I could see only, this was in the year 1994, 95. I could see only 10, 15 people working in all those 600 meter area just to lift the semi-finished or mid-finished product from one place to other place and loading raw materials at the beginning point. Only very few people. Those days, nobody talked about the artificial intelligence and machine learning. Only automation, and that too in a very few companies the automations used to be there. Now if you think the today's scenario, almost our 60-70% even MSME are able to afford the CNC machines. Earlier they used to use the conventional lathe machine. Now we need programmers, controllers, designers, even designers of CNC machine to suit a specific need to produce a component in volume. These kind of skill sets cannot be imparted in the academic environment like we have been doing from so many years. It is my personal view that for that matter we all have to be in workshops. We have to work with the machines with a 70 to 80% involvement, the engagement of time on the working on hands, with hands, and rest 20-30% on demonstration, discussions, like these things. So, like Professor Khambayar said that this AI machine learning going to change the overall scenario, but at the same time it is also going to give a new set of opportunities to the people, to the new generation. So there is no need to be panicked with the kind of development taking place all across the world. But we have to prepare for this 21st century skills in the area of TVET. I personally feel that the training the youth in the TVET is a really challenging task. But to some extent, this challenge is also because of many factors. Like one is the finance itself. We need to have to develop the most sophisticated equipment, machineries, tools, softwares, and this really needs a lot of investment. So how to create such kind of individual environment, the TVET skilling environment at different locations, different places, all across the country, within our own big country and other CPSC partner countries. I think to this, the digital technology is one of the solutions where we can create those contents using the advanced technology like augmented reality and virtual realities. We can create the twins of the labs using the digital twinning techniques so that with the lesser investment you can demonstrate those difficult and typical concepts of technology at remote places with the help of the digital infrastructure. In India, if you see that all villages are connected with the internet, and government is working very rigorously on making this country as a truly digital democratic country. When we talk about digital democratic country, means everywhere, every village, every corner, every individual is having the access for the internet and information technology. And this is going to give a good big rescue to the all challenging issues for the TVET education system in the country. So what we need to do is to prepare the content as an educator, and those contents should be so user friendly. And of course, the technology, the augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D, animation, gaming is going to be another assets for the training the TVET youth, the young youth in the area of TVET. I think we as educators need to focus on these areas to create content based upon the AR, VR, XR and gaming tools to make all TVET most complex problem solving concepts simpler to understand. And this is the area where we can help out the making TVET to the reach of each and every individual for the future generation. We also have to see that the TVET is not only for their own country, but the way whole world is becoming a single village. The access to the movement from one country to other countries is also going to help us out creating a new set of manpower who is more equipped with the transversal skills. When we talk about transversal skills, the skills that is cognitive in nature, is good in the problem solving, is creative and innovative enough. He is able to cooperate and coordinate and live together in the different kind of environments. And therefore, our youth, which are going to be the future manpower for the industry, is not only to serve their own country, but will be also become a global skilled manpower. So, these are few thoughts which I feel personally that we as a educator need to learn. Besides, there are a number of AI-based tools coming very forward. These AI-based tools are very helpful. I think we need to incorporate artificial intelligence in each and every discipline. It would be true to say that the artificial intelligence predominant and available in each and every discipline is today's only. And in time to come, I think you will find everywhere the artificial intelligence is dominant. And therefore, we all as a TVET instructor and teachers need to understand, need to use those AI tools in our own specific domain. With this thought process, I wish you all a fruitful interaction, engagement during this one-day international program on the TVET. I once again welcome all of you and thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. You have very nicely introduced all the aim of this seminar to all our participants. Thank you so much, sir. And now, before inviting Dr. Thamija here, a small introduction of Dr. Thamija here. Dr. Suresh Kumar Thamija has assumed the esteemed position of Director General at Colombo Plant Staff College, becoming the 13th leader of this prominent institute. Dr. Thamija has served as Professor and Dean for Academic and International Affairs in NITTTR, Chandigarh also. Dr. Thamija has conducted training programs and consultancy programs in over 30 countries. His academic achievements are equally impressive, boasting a PhD in business management, an MBA, and a master's in technical engineering. Dr. Dhamija has published works encompassing over 40 research papers, 143 conference presentations, and 22 authored and edited books, solidify his position as a thought leader in environmental engineering, environmental management, and entrepreneurship. I very respectfully invite Professor Dr. S.K. Dhamija sir, DG CPSC Manila, to please address us.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Sanjay Tiwari ji, the Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. Dheeresh Kumar, Dr. C.C. Tripathi ji, the Director of NITTTR Bhopal, my faculty colleague Dr. Keswan from Malaysia, the two local coordinators, Dr. Rajesh Kambayat and Dr. Sanjay Agarwal, dignitaries of the dais, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I extend a very warm welcome to all the delegates to this half-a-day international seminar. We have the delegates from 16 member countries of CPSC, and we have some more delegates also. So I extend a very warm welcome to all the delegates. In CPSC, we have got a tradition that whenever we do any training program, we do a lot of different types of training programs. Like we have the regional training programs. Like this one is a regional training program in which we get the people from different member countries. They come and participate. And we have this in-country programs in which we have the people from the same country, and then special programs, customized programs, a lot of programs we are doing. So we have a tradition that we conduct a half-a-day seminar as a part of the training programs. If it's a regional training program, then we have the half-a-day international seminar. If it's in-country program, we have a national seminar. So that is a tradition basically. The basic purpose is, you see, all these seminars are aligned with the topic of the training program. So there is a lot of alignment with the training program. The basic purpose is that we get a lot of speakers, from different institutions, academia and industry, who can share their thoughts on the latest developments in the specific area. Plus we can have more participants, like we have only 17, 18 participants in our program, but here we have more than 100 participants who can learn from all this, the latest concepts. So that is why we have this international and the national seminars. The topic of this seminar is on empowering TVET with future skills and emerging technologies. So I think skills is the major agenda nowadays in the world. In fact, in all the countries, the skills have become a central agenda for all the policy-making bodies. If you see all the developed countries, they need the skilled manpower. You go to all the like America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Korea, they need a skilled manpower, but they do not have the manpower. So it is the countries like we countries, developing countries basically, who can produce that manpower, who can give the manpower to them. Like if you talk of India and let us say China, so they have almost 50% of the humanity on this planet. So we can explore the manpower, but we need to train them first, because their training needs to be there. They do not have the latest latest skills with them. They have like our people have like more of a paper degree, paper diploma, but the skills are missing. So which are those skills? Which are those future skills and emerging technologies in which we need to train those people, and then we can explore this manpower also. So that is the basic sort of mandate of this program and of CPSC. India has got a very young population. We have very young people in our country as compared to China. We have a huge potential of exporting the manpower. Like we are staying in the Philippines, and the Philippines, they have something known as the TESDA. I was talking in the program also. TESDA is the Technical Education Skills Development Authority. It's just like EICT over here. So TESDA, they train the people on different technical vocations, and then they train them. They give them the language, the expertise on different languages of the world, and then they export them. So they export the human resources basically. And when these people, they go to other countries, they send a lot of remittance back to the country. So they are getting almost 40 billion US dollars every year, Philippines, through they're known as overseas Filipino workers. And then they treat them very, very, very nicely also. When they come back in December for the Christmas vacations, they have separate, diplomatic sort of channels for them at the airport. They garland them, they read the drums also. So they really, encourage these people. So that is how I think we can also, train our youth on the real, technical and vocational skills. They have more of a vocational knowledge, but the skills are missing. And the future skills we need to anticipate, and then we need to train them on the future skills also. That is how we can, train the people who can either stay in the country or even they can go out of the country also. There's no problem. I won't be speaking much because we are really already running out of time, and I have a keynote presentation also. So my only submission is that since we have a lot of delegates over here, you will get some good ideas from the speakers. We have some 3-4 presentations over here. In fact, we had a person from the industry also, but he sort of backed out because he had a chikungunya yesterday. So when you listen to all the speakers, you must be getting some good points, maybe 1 to 2 good points, 2 to 3, or maybe just one only. So take that one idea, go back and implement that idea. Okay, you attend a training program, you get a lot of inputs in the training programs. Maybe just 2 to 3 ideas only, maybe just one idea only. Please go and back and implement that idea. Otherwise, there's no point of attending this training programs and attending these international conferences. This all, just listening and then we are going back. So we must implement what we are learning over here. Okay, so that is my humble submission to all the delegates over here. So listen to the speakers. They will be saying something good at least. There's something good they will say. I'm talking myself only, So just take up only one idea or 2 ideas and go and implement them. So with this, I once again welcome all the delegates, and I wish this seminar a huge success. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thamija. We'll have plenary sessions after a keynote address. So we'll have full details introduction of Dr. Dheeraj Kumar sir, but for a few words, I'd like to call him to please address us. It is also said that don't say too many words for a small deal, but a few words for a big deal. So for this big deal, Dr. Dheeraj Kumar sir, former director and IIT Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh.
Thank you, ma'am, for the surprise. I thought I'll be speaking a little later. So thank you, Tripathi sir. I think what I really like about Tripathi sir is one very simple thing. He appears very simple, but he acts into the terrains which normally nobody wants to venture into. So even an event like this is something, a testimony of that. And I really look forward to interacting with Thamija sir, Sharma sir, and Tiwari ji, and all other panelists who will be here to understand that. See, I think one or two things which at this point I really would want to say that is, I come from a very different orientation and background, which I think most of my colleagues on the dais are, having a different sort of experience. But I will try to connect with the requirement of the TVET and try to connect that how and what can be leveraged from the format of design education, the experiences which I have had with that. Because there are certain unique practices which I feel can really enrich TVET format, and there can be a lot of value addition done in there. Normally, I of late has been doing a lot of interactive workshops, but I think here the format it's a one-way communication. But during lunch or coffee tea, we can really catch upon any idea, as I think Thamija sir was saying, that whatever you can connect with, we can discuss in detail, and one can think that how we can leverage that. So Mark Twain, one of the most popular quote is, there are 2 important days in your life. One is when you were born, and the day you realize why. I think in between, the most important reason for realizing this why is through education, And within education also, I always have believed that the skill that you accrue, that helps you realize why you were born. So I really feel that that's the kind of relevance of the today's session, where one can really look at how we can empower each and every individual in our countries, where we can develop some skill which is unique to them, which kinds of creates identity capital for them, and probably I think that's where I would want to peg my presentation. So thank you. I really look forward to having a conversation with you, and thank you, ma'am, for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. It is really, the seminar has begun with the wonderful word that learn everything, whatever, grab everything, whatever and wherever you find it. Thank you so much, sir. And now the time is to hear our chief guest, sir, Dr. Sanjay Tiwari, sir. A small introduction about our Vice Chancellor of Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University. Professor Sanjay Tiwari brings a wealth of experience and academic excellence to this role, having served as professor and head of the School of Studies in Electronics and Photonics at Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University. His dedication to research is evident in his supervision of over 21 doctoral researchers and 89 MTech students, as well as his highly cited publications. Professor Tiwari's international experience, including research positions at prestigious institutions like the University of Cambridge and IBM Alman Research Lab, further underscores his global standing. He is a recipient of numerous awards, including the prestigious US Fulbright Nehru Senior Research Fellowship and the UKRI Fellowship. His commitment to academic leadership is demonstrated through his role as various boards of studies and his active involvement in professional organizations. Professor Tiwari's vision and expertise will undoubtedly guide Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University towards new heights of academic achievements. I would very respectfully invite Professor Dr. Sanjay Tiwari, sir, Vice Chancellor of Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University.
Very good morning to one and all. Respected Professor Tripathi, Professor Dheeraj Kumar, Professor Dhameja, Professor Keswan, Professor Sanjay Agarwal ji, Professor Khambayat, the passionate participant from this NITTTR and Philippines, this CPSC Philippines, distinguished guests, faculty members of this NITTTR, and I always love to come to this NITTTR because I always learn something from the faculty members of NITTTR, and this is a very, very important topic. So it's indeed a very profound honor for me to be here with you, and I'm thankful to Professor Tripathi and Professor Khambayat for inviting me for this program. And this international seminar is empowering technical and vocational education and training through future skills and emerging technologies in the 21st century. And I really commend the organizing committee for organizing a seminar on such important topic, though it's your mandate also. So timely and critical because it aligns with our shared pursuit of global development. So together we gathered to discuss and collaborate on empowering TVET. Though Professor Khambayat, Professor Tripathi and other speakers, they have already covered most of the aspects of this TVET. But I think when my introduction was given, though I was a professor of electronics and photonics, my field of research is photonics. But I always feel proud that I established a department at my university for vocational education, and that was on the renewable energy technology and management. And I feel proud when I say that whenever you go to Chhattisgarh, and if you find a person at a solar pump, and if he is under 30 years, I am sure he must be a student of my institution, because we started because in Chhattisgarh this is basically scattered area, so there was a problem of water scarcity was there. So we started a program of solar energy. My field of research is solar energy, and our students we started program Bachelor of Vocation and it was under the skill development scheme of the country. You all know that in the year 2013-14, this NSDC was formed and the skill development program was launched because we were dreaming that we are going to become the youngest country. So now we are the youngest country and we are the most populated country of the world. So 550 million youths were to be trained by the year 2022 and we are in the process of that. Though Professor Khambhai said about the ILO report, I have gone through that report also. It's not very encouraging, it's a very discouraging report. And therefore yesterday also in the newspaper, because he was asking why our engineers are not employable. But unfortunately the answer was in the yesterday or day for yesterday news. It was written that some of the professors of engineering colleges, they are now joined some restaurants or they are, because after Corona the situation has deteriorated and really it was very shocking news. Even some of them are working as a delivery boy, and that is the reason where this, because this TVET, it fills the gap between the education and the employability. So for the last 10 years we are talking and we are working on this employability, and because India aspires to a 5 trillion economy with the help of this our innovation by startups and entrepreneurship. So this TVET has come up. So today we are at the crossroad of transformative changes. And if we gaze towards tomorrow, we can see a dramatic transformational change in many areas. As Tripathi have always said about AI is a buzzword nowadays. Specifically, if we confine them to artificial intelligence and machine learning, every student wants to work on it. Everybody is using ChatGPT, DAL-E, middle diffusion, estimate diffusion, some other softwares. Secondly, the robotics and the remote controlled machines, it has a big scope. And the government of Madhya Pradesh has also come up with some center for drone technology. So it's a very important field. Third, we talk about the energy, because I am working on energy, clean and affordable energy with storage issue. This is a very important field and we want a lot of manpower, because as we aspire to be a Viksit Bharat by the year 2047, so we have to chosen these fields because all the fields require a skilled manpower. So this is very important. Energy field, it is required everywhere. And in addition to this, blockchain technology is also evolving at a very faster pace with the emergence of cryptocurrencies. And then in the biology side, if you see that the DNA, sequencing, genomes, these are some fields where we need some manpower. And all these fields are evolving in parallel, and they have the promise to transform our lives. So this is very important. And recently, American futurist and inventor, he said that, and he observed that in the 21st century, we will experience a progress of 20,000 years, not 100 years. Because 21st century, it will totally change. And he said that every company, every industry, every enterprise, every business, they know one thing is certain. Either they have to be disruptor or be disrupted. And the main mantra is adjust to the change. Adjust to the change is the main mantra which everyone should accept. Secondly, if we stand still, it is sure that we will leave behind. So we have to move forward with the changes which are occurring. And TVET is that. So TVET doesn't mean it's basically because it is required everywhere, and it has the potential to not only change the social development or economic development, but also the social empowerment also. Because now a lot of women are coming to this TVET field. So the fourth industrial revolution is already there, and we know that in the education we are in the fifth generation, and it is marked by the rapid advancement in digital technology, automation, artificial intelligence, and reshaping the skill landscape and shifting the very nature of work. So the traditional roles are evolving, because nowadays, as you know that what was important yesterday, what skill you know yesterday may not be useful today, may not be relevant today, or it doesn't make any sense. So we always talk about the upskill and reskill, skill, upskill, and reskill. And secondly, as I said earlier, because we are the most populated country of the world, but if we want to have the benefit of this demographic dividend, or we want to convert this demographic dividend in terms of GDP, then it is sure that this young population, of which we are proud of, it should be trained, we should have a skilled ecosystem for that, they should be educated, skilled, and trained. So we should have, as TVET is such a program to train the manpower. So basically it is bridging the gap between education and employment, and the fast change of this technological change requires us to think beyond the conventional education models. So future skills, basically the future skills which are required, we always, that even India has launched this national education policy, and it says that it requires to have in the student the critical thinking, the problem solving attitude, creativity, digital literacy, and adaptability. Adaptability is very, very important, because we want our student, because we have to prepare for future workforce, it should be innovative thinkers as well as adaptable professionals. Because as you know that AI is not now everywhere, so we should use AI to enhance our creativity and productivity. Secondly, the most important thing is that today no one alone can do anything, because the human race has survived in the test of time because of its capability of cooperation, coexistence, and collaboration. So collaboration is very much required. It is required that the institutions, the government, and the industry. In the NEP, it is very rightly said, if we want to progress, then we should have industry connect, we should have innovation, we should go for internationalization. So these things are very, very important. And interdisciplinary research is also required everywhere. So basically, because India has done well in terms of education, in terms of knowledge generation, but we are still lagging in terms of innovation. When Nobel Prize was declared last month, October is the month of declaration of Nobel Prize, we always said we have only 12 Nobel Prizes, and out of 12, only 5 are basically Indians. And when the debate comes to why we have only 5 Nobel Prizes in our name, so it comes to because we are lacking in innovation. But in the last, you can say the last 10 years, we were at the 82nd rank in the year 2014 or 15. Now we are in the 40th rank in terms of innovation. Because in terms of education, as I said, if the data is given by NSF, National Science Foundation, USA, it says that we are in the India is 3rd in terms of research papers, 6th in terms of citations, or 9th in terms of patents, 40th in terms of innovation. But innovation we have to do. And innovations comes when alike minds come together. That is happening here also. Because innovation requires basically that peoples of different attitudes means we should have persons from academia as well as industry. Secondly, we have persons from interdisciplinary, because now the NEP also says that we should have multidisciplinary university and different cultures. That's why internationalization is a very important part of this innovation. So I think we are on the right path, and this conference is also very important if we want to go for innovation in our country. So these are the very, very important parameters, I think, important things. And basically, because I think things has already been covered by the earlier speakers. So emerging technologies like virtual and augmented reality, AI, Internet of Things, they have the transformation, and we know that, everybody knows that. Unfortunately, India is in the first 5 countries in terms of sensor and IoT, in terms of publication. So we have to, because nowadays as we said that first we have to patent, publish, and prosper. So we have to convert that patent into the commercial application, and I think TVET will work in that direction. Then I think everything, I'm leaving what has already been covered by the other speakers. And after this COVID-19, we all know that now students are, because this technology has now made a tremendous revolution in the field of education. And when the education is covered with technology, the students like it, and teachers and students, both of them are finding it more interesting, because the sharing of knowledge becomes more hassle-free and more interesting. And the most important thing which I feel that using the technology in education is important, because it also improves the skill set. And after using this cloud computing, AI, ML, and SRSET, this artificial augmented reality, virtual reality, and nowadays we are talking about extended reality. So these fields, because they will change the landscape of education, and it's for skill development, because we have a very large population. These technologies are very, very important. And secondly, as one of the most important part of this TVET is also that, as our Sustainable Development Goal 4, it says that equitable and quality and inclusive quality education and providing lifelong learning for all. So TVET requires that the lifelong learning, it should be available for all, so that they can upskill or reskill their skills. And not only hard skills, but we should have some programs on soft skills. I think that in this your NITTTR, they are organizing not the programs on not only soft skills but also on hard skills, but also the soft skills. So finally, I find that this conference, which is a testament for shared commitment to empowering TVET in the 21st century, and I urge the participants here, you should actively engage in this conference and sharing your insights, your challenges, and vision for the future. And together, let us pave the way for the resilient, skilled, and adaptable workforce that is equipped not only to face the challenges of the future, but to lead it. And as Einstein said, learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. But the most important thing is not to stop questioning. So I think the success of a conference depends on the active participation of the participants. So thank you very much, and I wish this conference a great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful words. You have really presented the actual picture of today and your expectations from tomorrow and the confidence in India's tomorrow. And never stop questioning. बहुत अच्छी बात है कि हम जब तक पूछेंगे नहीं तो समझेंगे कैसे. So now with this, we are coming to the closure of this inaugural ceremony. I'll request our director, Professor C.C. Tripathi sir, and the Director General, Professor Dhamija sir, to please felicitate our guest, the Chief Guest sir and Guest of Honor today with shawl, shriifal and memento. Professor C.C. Tripathi sir and Professor Dhamija sir will present shriifal and shawl. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University, Dr. Sanjay Kumar Tiwari sir, presenting a memento by Dr. S.K. Dhamija sir to Professor Tiwari sir. And again they are requested to please felicitate Dr. Dheeraj Kumar sir. Thank you so much, sir. And now I'll call upon Professor Sanjay Agrawal, sir, HOD and Dean, Academic and Research, NITTTR Bhopal, to please propose a vote of thanks.
Good morning to all. I was told that not to take much time because the next session is going to be started. So respected dignitary on the dais, all the faculty members of the institute, participants from member countries, and our PhD scholars and participants from different programs of this institute of these 2 weeks, this week and next week. Yes, so quickly the takeaway. We discussed about the takeaway. So I just noted down 2-3 quick takeaway from this. One is skill, upskill and reskill, because for TVET there is very much required to go for that skill, upskill, reskill with adaptability and lifelong learning. This is the one takeaway. One sentence by our director sir is very, very important. TVET needs destructive change. This means a lot. If you read between the lines, this really means a lot at destructive change in TVET. When I'm preparing for my session for developing framework for future skills I have to take tomorrow, I just use this word now, and this is very, very important. It's required, this thing. Next is VC sir also told the data, that is, this has surprised me also, that 515 million youth is to be trained. This is a very big number, and this is to be there. Dhameja sir and Professor Tripathi, another very important takeaway is academia and industries, these are not two separate entities. Now, in academia itself, the industry is to be there, and they have to work together, because 80% is need to be 70 to 80% is hands-on, and other 20 to 30% is to discussion. So thank you, all of you on the dais for coming here, and just all for this occasion, especially Sanjay Tiwari sir. I know you are very busy and you spare the time for us. Dheeraj Kumar sir, you came today itself, and today is the first day of the fog at Delhi. Yeah, you thought you really managed this. Thank you for that. Dhameja sir, I'm using, this is our own Dhameja sir, right? He is now Director General, and we love him a lot. We know, you all know that. He's from NITTTR Chandigarh, and we have a long association with him. Thank you, sir, for organizing and providing us this opportunity. Our own director is always a visionary leader, as Professor Tiwari says. He looks very normal, but he takes some of the things initiative, very, very good initiative, and under his leadership, Institute is doing wonderful and different things exceptionally well. I can tell this thing. Thank you, Kambaya sir, Keshwan sir, to be this part of this team. Keshwan sir is very energetic and taking a lot of initiative regarding this seminar, also discuss with number of things. All the participants from member countries, CPSC 16 countries, thank you for your presence. You're taking keen interest into this. Thank you for that. Please work on these takeaways, and if you can take up 1 or 2 things from here, definitely it will work very well. Our own faculty members, very short notice you are here. Thank you very much. Our PhD scholars all are here. Thank you, and please make sure, as Director sir told, that the applied research you can take away from here, and we feel that some of them just take that as a research topic from here and go for the policy making and decision making for our country, or for the TVET participating country from CPSC. Thank you for all the participants, and especially the coordinators of induction program and 1 and 2, because we have requested yesterday evening itself, and they just adjusted their session to late night. Thank you for that, for all be here. Others, Anita and Rashna, Shweta, and all others those are involved, media department, computer science department, to just support this seminar. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
थैंक यू प्रोफेसर संजय अग्रवाल सर. मैं सोच रही थी जब एक मंच पे 2 संजय हों तो दृष्टि कहीं से कहीं जा सकती है और बहुत कुछ हासिल कर सकते हैं. एंड देयर आर मेनी मोर पार्सल्स ऑफ टेक अवे, सो डोंट मिस एनी. Thank you so much to all of you. And the second session, this was the inaugural session, and the second session of keynote address and plenary session will continue. Thank you so much. And I'll hand over this mic to Professor Keshavan sir now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaskar and good morning. So since we are running out of time, we will be going to, if you look at the program schedule, I think you can scan from the QR code which we have distributed earlier. We will go for the first section, keynote speaker address. For the keynote speaker, will be done by our Director General, Colombo Plain Staff College, the title of Leadership and Change Management in Empowering TVET. I think we already introduced his biodata previously, so we would like to call straight away Professor Dr. Suresh Kumar Damaja to take the floor to address the keynote speaker. Professor, welcome.
चतुर्वेदी
Okay, thank you so much. There's a very famous saying by Murphy: if something can go wrong, it will. And of the things that cannot go wrong, some will. Anyway, so my presentation is on leadership and change management in empowering TVET. The contents of my presentation: the changing role of TVET, future skills and emerging technologies in TVET, challenges and opportunities, resistance to this change, tipping point leadership to take care of the resistance to the change, and concluding remarks. Let me start my presentation with a small story. We have heard of a lot of hard words in the morning, so let us have a story now. This story I have taken from a book known as Alice in the Wonderland, and which Alice is a small girl and she is wandering in a jungle or in a forest. So when she is wandering over there, she comes at a point from where two roads are departing. She is standing over there, very confused which road to take, this one or this one. And then a cat comes from behind a tree. So the cat asks Alice, "Can I help you?" Alice said, "Yes, please, I am lost. I need to know which road I should take." The cat asked, "Where are you going, by the way?" Alice said, "I really do not know where I am going." "Well," said the cat, "then it doesn't matter which road you take. If you do not know where you are going, you can take any road." So this small story shows the importance of the planning. So first we have to plan, only then we have to execute the things, right? For the leaders, it's very important to plan. Leaders are mainly for the planning and get it executed from the start, basically. So we say that if you fail to plan, you are basically planning to fail. So for the leaders, I think the first important is, where are we right now? The part of the planning, the part of strategic planning, where are we right now? Where we want to be? We means the institution basically, and how to reach over there, right? The same thing with basically where my institute is right now, where I want my institute to be after 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 4 years, 3 years, right? And how does my institute reach over there? For that, you do the environmental analysis or SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats or challenges, keeping all the stakeholders into your mind. Because without the stakeholders, we are nothing, right? So from there you have your vision, from vision comes your mission, then comes your goals or strategy goals, and then comes your objectives. Let us see the changing role of TVET. We have the two paradigms, old paradigm and a new paradigm. In the old paradigm, we say we have a supply-driven approach. You train the people and push them into the labor market. It's a supply-driven. But now we talk of the demand-driven. If there's a demand in the market, only then we should produce. Demand-driven. Second is training for the employment. We are training them for getting a job. But now we talk of learning for the employability. Not employment, but employability. He should be employable throughout his career. Right? One-time learning, now we talk of lifelong learning. Training and focus on the trainer or the teacher. Now we talk of self-learning, which is very important, self-learning, because in the times to come, he has to self-learn basically. Self-learning and focus on the learner. Education and training are separated. Now we talk of integrating them. The industry, academia, integration. No more interaction, no more partnerships, but the integration of industry and academia. Specialize in one skill, and we talk of multi-skilling. Then in the old paradigm, we say skill recognition based on the training period examination. Now we talk of recognition based on the competency. If a person has got a competency, if he can demonstrate a competency, recognition of prior learning, basically, he can get a degree or diploma or certificate, basically. Rigid and fixed entry and exit. Now we talk of flexible and multi-entry exit. Focus on the formal sector. Now we talk of both formal and informal, because informal is much more bigger than the formal sector. Training for the wage employment. Now we talk training for the wage and the self-employment. Not only wage, but the self-employment. The word employability means both the wage employment, wage employability, and the employment, self-employability also. The policy and the delivery dominated by the state. Now we talk of the policy and the delivery are separate and market driven. Governance dominated by the state. We talk of now the participatory. Industry academia, participatory sort of a governance. Now let us see the current trends in the TVET. Increased private sector engagements. It is happening. It has to happen. There's no other way. Next is shift towards competency-based training. We were talking in the morning also. More on competency-based. The first should be competent to exhibit skills. Then adapting to industry 4.0. In fact, now we're talking industry 5.0 already, Okay. Then focus on the lifelong learning and upscaling. These words we are learning, hearing so many times. So the repetition is intentional. Lifelong learning and upskilling and reskilling. Strengthening industry institution partnerships or integration so that the skills taught are aligned with the real world demands. Integration of soft skills training, very important. Soft skills are much more important than the hard skills also sometimes. We talk of leadership, we talk of communication, we talk of interpersonal, all these things. I just did a small research on the internet. These are the 7 major employability skills which a person should have. First is the interpersonal skills we were talking. Number 2, the technical, whatever field he has, technical knowledge. Then the ICT skills, and then the communication. Communication has been taken out of the interpersonal. It is much more important. Communication skills. The 5th is the management skills, creativity and innovativeness, and lastly the problem solving and critical thinking skills. So these are the 7 major employability skills which a person should have in order to be employable throughout his career. Let us quickly talk of future skills and emerging technologies in TVET. We have already discussed digital literacy. I think everybody should be digitally literate. We have now the tech-driven economies. Then adaptability and flexibility. We were talking in the morning also. I think the chief has also talked about the adaptability also, because the job market is very dynamic. So you have to adapt and adjust as per the changing this thing. Sustainable awareness, environmentally friendly. We talk of the green manufacturing, the green technology, the green products, the green processes. Everything is green, which is very important nowadays. Which are the emerging technologies? We talk of the AI, we talk of the IoT and the IIoT, industrial IoT also we are talking of. We talk of the extended reality, we talk of AR, VR, MR, all those things. Others are cloud computing, 3D printing, learning management systems. In fact, we are conducting a training program on learning management systems in Dhaka next month only. LMS in TVET we are talking of. So what are the challenges and opportunities? What are the barriers to implementation skills? Mismatch. I think it's quite obvious. The skills required by the industry and the skills which our students have, there's a lot of mismatch in there. Rapid technological advancements, and we're not able to really cope up with that rapid technological advancements. Funding constraints. Director Sir were talking about funding constraints. Inclusion and accessibility. Resistance to change in the education system. What are the opportunities to bridge the skill gap? I am going a little faster because Dr. Kesan told me to finish it within 10 to 15 minutes only. Lifelong learning initiatives, integration of digital technologies. These are all the opportunities. So whatever we have the challenges, they become the opportunities. Focus on the green skills, entrepreneurship and self-employment and global collaborations. This is the UNESCO's vision for the TVET. UNESCO's vision to transform TVET during the period 2022 to 2029 highlights 3 main priorities. Number 1 is develop skills for all the individuals to learn, work and live. Develop skills for the inclusive and sustainable economies. Inclusive and sustainable economies. Develop skills for inclusive and peaceful societies. 3 major basics. The future of TVET hinges on its ability to adapt to the learning emerging technologies while promoting essential skills to be able to meet the demands of the modern workforce. So both the existing as well as the future skills we have to take care of. Right. Now next is the resistance to the change. When we want to make any change, there is a resistance. So why? The fear of the unknown. Comfort in the status quo. People do not want to change, very easily. Feeling of individual and group insecurity. Imagined hardships and the difficulties. Paralyzing bureaucracy and parochial thinking. A very limited sort of a vision. The errors during the change process, what we normally do, allowing too much of complacency. I think that is one of the errors which we normally do, and I think the leader should be very careful. Failing to create a sufficiently powerful guiding team. There has to be a team which can do all these things. And then underestimating the power of vision. Under communicating the vision by a factor of 10, or maybe 100, or maybe 1000. People have the vision, but they're not communicating the vision to the people, to the faculty and staff. Basically, everybody should know what is the vision of the leader. Permitting obstacles to block the new vision, failing to create the short-term wins, declaring victory too soon, and neglecting to encourage changes in the culture. So, whatever change we make should be part of the culture ultimately. Okay, there's an 8-stage process for creating major changes. I'll just highlight only the major points. You can see my presentation on the website. Establishing a sense of urgency, number 1. Creating the guiding team, which is very important for anything. There should be a team. Developing a vision and a strategy. Communicating the change vision to the people below. Empowering broad-based action. Generating short-term wins. Consolidating gains and producing more change. And lastly, anchoring new approaches in the culture. We go to the leadership. Tipping point leadership. What is tipping point leadership? You see, there are 4 major hurdles which come on the way for the leaders. Which are those 4 hurdles? The first is the cognitive hurdle. What is that? An organization wedded to the status quo. People do not want to change. That is the cognitive hurdle. Number 2, resources are less always, So that is one hurdle. Political hurdle. People who have the vested interest, they also try to create the problems. And lastly, the motivational hurdle. So these are the 4 major hurdles which a leader has to cope up with. And the answer lies in the tipping point leadership. The tipping point leadership allows you to overcome these 4 hurdles fast and at a low cost while winning the employees' backing. It hinges on the insight that in any organization, fundamental changes can happen quickly when the beliefs and the energies of a critical mass of people create a movement towards an idea. Maybe 5%, maybe 10%, maybe 15%. So catch hold of those people and then you can get it done through those people basically. Okay, I go to the concluding remarks. I started with a story, I'll finish with a story. A good leader has the capability to get people of ordinary ability to perform in an extraordinary manner. Socrates once said that a group of donkeys led by a lion can defeat a group of lions led by a donkey. Okay, let us listen to a story. It's an anecdote, it's a real story. Learning lessons from a horse. And this horse is the Sea Biscuit. C-S-E-A-C, Biscuit. There is a Hollywood movie also on Sea Biscuit. The year was 1938. The date was 1st November. The place was Pimlico Racetrack, USA. A sea of humanity gathered at the Pimlico Racetrack to witness the horse race of the century. By noon, an estimated 40,000 people were present to witness the spectacle. An estimated 40 million people tuned in to listen to the broadcast of the match, including the US President Roosevelt. The contenders were a contrast of the opposites. It was War Admiral on the left hand side, black one, and the Sea Biscuit on the right hand side. The War Admiral was tall, majestic, all black, and a very handsome horse. The challenger Sea Biscuit was a small, mud-colored, and had a crooked left leg which made him walk with a slight limp. Both the horses exploded from the start line. After a few initial seconds, the crowds were shocked to see Sea Biscuit gaining ground. They were surprised as this horse had always been a slow starter. The race was full of twists and the turns. Sometimes the war admiral was leading and sometimes the sea biscuit was leading. The race was so close that most of the time both horses could see eye to eye. But finally, the underdog, Sea Biscuit, won the race. This horse race presents a great deal of learning for all of us. The question is how he was able to win that race. Lesson number 1, training or the coaching. Sea Biscuit had a reputation of an unmanageable horse. At the same time, it had the potential. Its trainer, Tom Smith, was the first to see its potential. He employed certain unconventional methods to train the horse as it had a length. A good trainer or a teacher, we are all teachers basically, can make a huge difference in building successful students by adopting an individualized approach. One size fits all would not work if the aim is to get the best from each and every student. Lesson number 2, different strategies for different situations. Sea Biscuit's natural style was to start slow and then stalk the race leaders. But the war admiral was a speed demon. So Smith, his coach, retrained the Sea Biscuit to start fast, and as a result of which it was able to win the race. A trainer or a teacher can slightly modify the habits of the students so that they can get that winning edge. The third, which is also very important, it is not in the feet, it is in the heart. Sea Biscuit had a crooked leg. It was small, but on the racetrack, this little horse had a fierce heart and always relished the fight. In our lives, many deeds are lost due to the lack of spirit to overcome the obstacles that seem insurmountable. We get frightened by the reputation of our opponents. We focus on our shortcomings and on the merits of the opponent and get demotivated. So be a Sea Biscuit and give a tough fight. And lastly, believe in yourselves and not in the non-sayers. The people say, okay, you say you cannot do, don't believe them. Believe in yourself, like Trump used to believe in. As Sea Biscuit had a crooked leg, everybody used to say that it is a useless horse. But its owner and its coach believed in the horse and provided it with a special type of training. The result is before us. In our life, people having some disability are being looked down upon by the society, but proper training programs for them can convert them into the champions. A four-legged animal can be a source of inspiration for us. So my question is, are we ready to learn from a horse? Last slide, the qualities of a leader is by anonymous author. Blessed is the leader who knows where he is going, why he is going, and how to get there. My first slide. Second, blessed is the leader who knows no discouragement, who presents no alibi, no excuses. Blessed is the leader who knows how to lead without being dictatorial. Blessed is the leader who leads for the good of the most concerned and not for the personal gratification of his own ideas. Not for the personal gratification of his own ideas. Blessed is the leader who develops leaders while leading. Blessed is the leader who has his head in the clouds but his feet firmly on the ground. Blessed is the leader who considers leadership an opportunity for service. I think that is all. So thank you so much. I thought you may forget my presentation, you may forget me also, but you won't forget the stories, you know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you to our Director General. I gave him, his presentation is 30 minutes. I gave him 20 minutes. He finished in 15 minutes. Let us give a round of applause to him. He keeps the time. A leader, time management is very important. Okay, so with that we will break for a short tea break. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Now is the time is 12. We'll be back by 12:10. Please, because we need to finish the section by 1 o'clock. So please, again, we invite all the VIPs to a small tea break and the delegates to your registration counter on the glass counter there. and all the other faculties and members in front. Please have your tea break, quick tea break, and come back in I hope you can take lunch in a very patient manner. Okay.
Sorry, my friends are here.
We will try to do because we have two speakers, two sections. We try to have it we need to finish by 1:15. We need to finish it. So we try to go soon. If you have any other questions, make it simple. So we try to entertain. Okay, with that, welcome back for the second section. For the first section, after the inaugural ceremony, for our international seminar on international empowering TVET with future skills and emerging technologies in 21st centuries. Our first section will be, after the keynote, the first section will be Smart Readiness Index or CD for Industrial Revolution 4.0, which will be delivered by Dr. Chandra Charu Tripathi, the Director of NITTTR Bhopal. Dr. Tripathi, a brief biodata about Dr. Tripathi, is a seasonal academician and researcher with over 20 years of experience, specializing in optoelectronics materials and scientific instrumentation. His vast experience spans academia, industry and research. He has held key positions at prestigious institutions like Kurukshetra University and the Central Electronics Engineering Research Institute, CEERI, in Pilani. Dr. Tripathi, dedicated to education, is evident in his 18 years of teaching experience and guidance of MTech and PhD students. His remarkable contribution have been recognized through membership as in estimate organization like IEEE and Council of Science and Technology, Haryana. Dr. Tripathi leadership and expertise are invaluable assets to the National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, Bhopal. It is my honor to present to you this distinguished scholar and visionary leader to take the floor. With that, we would like to invite Dr. Tripathi.
So, I have 15 minutes only.
If you save time, I'll get more.
Okay. Okay. So, we are going to talk about the Smart Education Readiness Index series, aligned with the TVET education, right? So, smart is very popular nowadays. We have a smart watch, a smart TV, a smart mobile phone, neighboring smart roads, smart cities like Singapore, Brunei. Everything is smart. So this talk is that how to make education smart. Should the activity education should also be smart? If we wish to make this smart, how to do it? What are the parameters? What are the measurements on which we can test that our education institution are smart enough to educate the TVET knowledge seeker? So that's what we are going to talk. And this smart education is we're trying to align with the industry needs. This all is smart is because of the industrial development, the way the technology has been changing in the country or all across the world. So how to make our institutions smart and how to evaluate our institutions are smart enough to educate, to prepare our graduates or diploma holder, our technicians for future TVET. So this, we all know the fourth industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, we have been discussing from the morning. It's rapidly transforming the global economy. And this is basically driven by the AI, artificial intelligence, data analytics, IoT, sensors, and much more. This revolution presents immense opportunity for the nations to enhance the productivity, innovation, in economic growth. However, it also poses challenges in many developing countries who needs to adapt quickly to harness the full potential of this smart industry or industrial revolution 4.0. So the education, how we are going to bridge the gap so as to become comply the needs of industry 4.0. And this, despite global progress in adopting industry 4.0, there is a growing concern about the readiness of the educational systems. In our country, it's the biggest country, particularly in the this part of the earth. The people say that the employability only 20 to 30% for engineering graduates. That's a major concern for all of us. So, are we equipped enough, the educational institutions, we are equipped enough to make our students smart, to prepare our students, they are smart enough to serve the industry. Like in the last lecture, we have seen that we are not concerned about employment, but we are employability, the long-term employment. So, this Smart Education Readiness Index is a crucial assess and enhance the preparedness of higher education institutions to meet the demand of the new industrial era, that is Industrial 4.0. This series will serve as a valuable tool for institutions to identify ideas for the improvement, benchmark their progress, and ensure their graduates are future ready. This Smart Education Readiness Index has been prepared on the based on the aligning with the document which was presented long back, probably 2019 in Singapore, and based upon those philosophy of Smart Industry Readiness Index, we have drawn a parallel assuming education as an industry. So those parameters which is mandatory for industry to become smart, we have tried to prepare in the scenario where education has been taken as an industry, replaced with the industry. So in essence, SERI takes the core principle of SERI, Smart Industry Readiness Index, and applies them to the educational context, creating a tailored framework to guide institutions in embarking the Industry 4.0 and equipping the students with the skills needed for the future. This SERI framework is built upon the three core block of education as an industry, and these core block as a process, secondly the technology and the organization. Process we all understand. It starts from the designing the course curriculum based upon the outcomes we plan, educational outcome. Then the teaching learning process and assessment. Technology we all understand. Technology is the core for TVET education in particular. It includes all sort of infrastructure required to graduate, required to train the technicians, and then the organization. Organization for any mission is very, very important. We have been just discussing the vision and mission for any organization. So with the organization is fine-tuned to take up this challenge to make our education institutions ready for the smart education. So these are the major three pillars, or you can say blocks, in the Smart Education Readiness Index. Now these major blocks, process, technology and organizations, are divided into the other pillars in terms of the curriculum, stakeholders engagement, teaching and learning in the process block. In the technology block, infrastructure, intelligence and connectivity. This is the point where we are just trying to map with the Industry 4.0, the industrial revolution, where AI and the machine learning, data analytics, IoT has taken a major role. So whether our educational programs are also aligned with the industries, where we are able to equip our students with the IoT, sensors, AI, machine learning, data analytics, etc. All these are important, we can say, dimensions when we happen to measure, when we happen to classify whether the education system is ready to be called a smart education ready. So the third is the organization. In organization, it's a visionary leadership, strategic planning, governance, teacher training, student support services, community engagement, digital literacy program innovation, acceleration, collaborative workshop, facility, sustainable business model, etc. In case of technology, many of the institutions are already using some sort of technology for the knowledge transfer to happen in the classroom, like digital infrastructure, all computer infrastructure, Internet of Things, learning management system, online learning platforms, educational software, AI, machine learning. Nowadays, you just put the course curriculum, AI, machine learning tools will prepare a book or knowledge or resource materials for you. If you are a slow learner, there are mathematics tools, AI tools, which will make you learn with their own pace. So are we ready to adopt these tools in our education system so as to call as a smart educator? So the list of things like virtual and augmented realities. I also mentioned in my early morning session that AR VR is going to take a real facelift in the education system. I have a very strong opinion that all the content, whatever you just think of, starting from school education to the higher education, they are going to be converted into AR and VR, XR in time to come. Almost all 100%. If you want to make the content simpler, easy to understand and cope up with, consumable, you have to convert those all content into AR, VR, XR tools. So as a teacher, as an educator, we all are supposed to equip with these tools and techniques. Many of us, unfortunately, left studying the science and engineering subjects. The reason was that we could not get the good teachers, the teachers who could explain those difficult concepts in a more simpler way. AI is going, this AR and VR along with the AI XR is going to address these issues. And therefore, this is one of the important dimensions for educators to test themselves, to look into it, that whether they are ready to handle this kind of tools. So the different big list of these tools. I am not taking much time. Now the issue is how to assess ourselves on these blocks like process, technology, and the organization. These assessment could be at different ways. Different person can have different ways of assessment. It could be level in the form of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can define. It can be also defined as a satisfactory, unsatisfactory, satisfactory, good, very good, excellent, outstanding. It could be also quantified, measured in terms of the smartness level in terms of percentage, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50, 70, and 80%. Exactly. So in the first column, we have listed this assessment matrix in terms of bands. The band 0 is unidentified, undefined. Like let us say in our education, we have a process, our education starts from the admission. So do we have defined the complete admission process? Do we know who our potential candidates are? If you ask many institutions, almost 90% institutions except IITs in country don't know. IIT say that their candidates come from JEE and advanced. But what about others? So we have to see in which band we fall. Do we fall in the band 0, that is undefined, and then how we have to work so as to move from the band 0 undefined to band defined, and then in the next stage the band digital. When we talk about digital, I have written the definition, so I am not going to read it. When we talk about the digital, it means at least we have defined something, converted into the electronic format, right? And then we are ready to go for the automation. So we have to examine each and every parameter. We can say dimension, we can say attributes, we can say constituents for the academic system. We have to measure and quantify each and every parameters on these assessment metrics in terms of band, maybe 0, that you can call no awareness or initiative related to the industry 4.0. Band 1, limited awareness of industry 4.0 among the stakeholders, no formal partnership with the industry. Band 2, we can call it digital, use of digital tools to basic tasks like the presentation, assignment, limited use of online learning platforms. Similarly, in technology area, band 0, basic IT infrastructure, limited access to digital learning resources. We don't have computer, laptop, mobile phone, internet in the campuses, or maybe we don't have the proper bandwidth. So, similarly in band 1 technology, basic data collection but no analysis or use of data to inform the decision making process. Band 2 digital, basic internet connectivity and access to some digital learning resources, like our AICT say that only 10 Mbps is good enough for AICT institutions to run a BTech UG program. So are they going to solve the address to make our institutions smart enough to educate, to prepare the future TVET personnel? That we have to see. Because it has to align with the industry Revolution 4.0. Similarly, the organizations, do the vision and missions are very much clear? It is aligned with the industry 4.0. Or we have a limited awareness of this industry 4.0 among the faculty? And then initial exploration or partnership, like we have been talking from last 70 years, interaction with the industry. Many times I listen in the conferences that we have very poor industry-institute interaction. So are we happy with this situation, or we have to move further? The other assessment metrics, band 3, means in the terms of process, curriculum incorporated some industry 4.0 relevant skills and knowledge, some use of the technology for collaborative learning and projects-based activities, means you have input from the industry, based upon input we are creating the curriculum. Band 4 in the process is active engagement with industry. It means industry is not only collaborative, but they are working cohesively. They are immersive in the academic institutions. So we can say it's a band 4, and band 5 with a personalized learning pathway, adaptive assessment are integrated into the curriculum. Or we are sufficiently using AI tools in our learning, in our assessment, all these are required for the process. Similarly, in technology, improve the IT infrastructure with reliable access to digital learning and resources and platforms, use of data analytics and track student performance. Do we measure the student performance in the classroom every day? Many times we have implemented this NBA process in engineering institutions, and fortunately we are the assessor for many institutions, and we try to map course objective, program objectives, COs with the learning objectives, but we never map ourselves as a teacher. What are the part of the curriculum where we fail to make the students understand? We make them follow fail or pass, we do the assessment. But do we really try to, are ready to assess ourselves whether we need to change in our education process, whether we need to change in the delivery process, or maybe the content. So those kind of things are need to be incorporated. In technology we discussed, we need to lastly, so as to call the intelligence system like AI machine, incorporation of AI and machine learning, data analytics. We have to have a seamless connectivity and access to wide range of digital learning resources and platforms. We have to have a strong, in case of the organization, we have to have a strong partnership with the industry. We have initiated here in our place to provide the co-working space to industry. We have already given offer to 2 industry. One of them is every day is working with us. It's coming. And it's very fortunately, I would like to share one of the success story. One day I shared the problem with that person, industry person, that we want to make DC-DC converter because we are going to have a semiconductor packaging setup here, skilling on semiconductor packaging. I said the semiconductor device we are going to package, where it will be utilized. So the students should able to understand, make a relation between the package device and then the ultimate application. I talked to my faculty members, no clue. When I talk to industry person, I say I want to design a DC-DC converter. Very next day, third day, he came with a DC converter, designed, fabricated. He said, you can test, sir. So we as an educator, we are so equipped with. This is a problem we as a TVET educator particularly we have to address. So this partnership, the co-working space concept, industry is with you with their own partner, own problems, own issues they want to resolve, and you have a skilled graduates, you have a skilled trainers, master teachers. We both can work together to address those problems and the real life problems. So then we need not to look for to redesigning curriculum after each and every 3 years. Every time we are able to cope up with the revised or the present need of the industry. This kind of sort of we need to create. So to ensure that in the response it is recommended that the personnel with the most knowledge about the specific division or operation respond to each section. For instance, the process section should be completed by curriculum developers and all head of the programs. The technology section by IT specialists, etc. Assessment will include, we have to not only assess the students, but we also have to assess ourselves, self-assessment that is required to be done periodically. The stakeholders, we have to prepare documents, review it, do the observation, do the data analytics, so as to prepare that, so as to make sure that we are the smart enough, we are ready to impart the smart education. This frequency could be annual or maybe biannual or maybe quarterly depending upon the requirement and needs. We have already discussed that the engine of curriculum adoption, AI, will not take because it was discussed in last also. I am going to take few examples that how to test and to rate ourselves different processes. Like here we are discussing that the process that is a curriculum. In the process block we are discussing the pillar curriculum. And the constituent or you can say a dimension is the transversal skills. Whether we are able to transfer the transversal skills in a smarter way. We call this smart education. And how to measure it. We all already know that what the transversal skills are. So these skills are basically the problem solving, the critical thinking, apathy, working with a different kind of ethical groups. So we have to measure on these scales. I discussed that we can make the measurement matrix in a different format. Like in last slide we discussed that It could be like band 0, 1 to 3, integrated, automated, depending upon the kind of process we are dealing with. It could be like the conventional early adopter, learner, experience, exemplary. The way the problem is, the way the dimension we are going to analyze with. So now to how to test ourselves on different dimensions, so as to make sure that what is our level of smartness in the field of education, the TVET in particular. So, like this is the one format created where we want to test our institution whether that institution has embedded the following transversal skill in the industry 4.0, or we are able to train our students on the complex problem solving, social skills, process skills, cognitive ability, people management skill, context skill, digital skill, entrepreneurial skills. And if we are there, then we have to list down whether we are doing it conventional way. Like most of us, except very few good institutions in the country, they are maybe somewhere in learner or experience category. Exemplary category is still we have to evolve. Exemplary category is basically the category where there is extensive use of AI and machine learning. In case of experience, we are using automation to some extent. We are using the digital resources to some extent. So we have to quantify ourselves, we have to parameterize ourselves that whether we are able to train our students in complex problem solving, and then to what extent conventional, early adopter, learner, experience, exemplary. Similarly, on other parameters which are transversal skills, it is required in each and every any institutions. It's not in a institution specific. It's not an industry specific. It's not a work setup specific. These are essential requirements. So similarly, in the curriculum side, we have discussed the case. The second case is the curriculum. Curriculum, and then the specialized skills. Are our TVET graduates are ready to address a specialized technical core problem? In this also we have to measure either in the band scale, or we can write the conventional early adopter learner experience. So these are parameters, and definition is already written very clear that whether we are using the existing curriculum, early stage adoption or infrared as this IR 4.0, or learner moderate usage of IR 4.0, all these we have to test our curriculum on these parameters. I think the people who are engaged in the curriculum, they will take care of, particularly when we are going to design the curriculum for others. Similarly, we have to see that so this table shows that to measure ourselves in the core skill area. So first we discuss the transversal skill area and the core skill area. Transversal skill area is free from any kind of setup where one he or she is supposed to work. But this is a trade specific. So similarly in trade specific, somebody is expected to work in institutions where the big data is required. We have to see that are we able to train the students, and the level of training is only for the, it's a basic level, conventional level, early level, or learner, or experience, or exemplary level. So all these things we have to measure on this scale, so as to make our institution as a smart educator. Similarly, on the account of infrastructure, we have to see that whether we have a conventional infrastructure as per the regulatory body, or we have a advanced infrastructure required for the learner as per the smart education, or maybe experience, or we are leader in infrastructure. I've been talking all the time with our faculty members that we have to have a sort of a infrastructure which is truly demonstrative. Whosoever comes, see it, he or she, wherever he or she goes, he should say that we have been there, NITTTR, and saw that they have the excellent infrastructure. Those infrastructures should be mapped with the need of the present industry, AI, including AI, data analytics, IoT, all advanced areas which Industry 4.0 is looking for. So in similar on account, we have to also measure our readiness. This kind of table, we can create tables for the measurement table, or you can say parameterized tables for measuring the our preparedness level in different formats. So we have to see, are we able to have a digital infrastructure in terms of hardware, internet backbone, data center, network security, in terms of operating systems, do we have the Apple, Mac, OS, Windows, Google, Android, OS, Linux, operating, everything. Many institutions we find that some sort of operating systems are available, but we don't have the exhaustive one as required by Industry 4.0. Similarly, 4G, 5G communication, learning management systems, communication tools, all these infrastructure, digital infrastructure available in institutions are not, so as to call as a smart educator, a smart institution. Measurements, we can, this is another parameter in the technology block, that is the pillar is the intelligence and the parameter is the automation. To what extent we have been able to automate our process? Do we know that what equipment is going to out of order? It needs to be repaired and maintained. Or when we happen to use it, then only we will notice that it is not working. Do we have developed some AI-based equipment repair maintenance tool, so that we know that our which instrument is performing well and which is to be taken for the repair? So this kind of exercise is to be done so as to call as a smart educator. Our institutions having our institutions ready for a smart education. So we will not take time much on this. So similarly, we can have a measurement on this, whether we are having the equipments which are good enough to be called as that we have the automation. Automation in each and every sphere, starting from admission to the award of certificate in the form of digital degrees, for the verification of the degrees and certificates by the outside employer or any persons whosoever is looking for. Similarly, another I am taking another example in the block organization, and the pillar is the structure and management, and we all are part of this organization and this is pillar, structure and management. We have to see that whether we have a policy for smart education or not. Is the management is ready enough? Is management have already understood the concept of smart education and the requirement of smart education? And if so, do the management is ready with all provisions? It could be financial, policy making decisions, preparing the manpower, training, reskilling. We have to test on these parameters. And then for testing, we can further define it, maybe when, in terms of no policy or policy with 20%, comply with the Industry 4.0, maybe policy with 40% compliance with the 4.0, similar way, and we can test our preparedness. Similarly, in the organization, where the talent readiness is available, where all of our employees, including the supporting technical staff, are ready with the Industry 4.0 tools. That is the responsibility of the management. Whether we are able to develop sufficient means to train all faculty members? Do we have inbuilt training, skilling, reskilling, capacity building programs within the institutions or not? Or we are just looking for government notifications to come and send the faculty if it is pressed from the higher side, from upper side. You have to send 1% or 2% on this particular conference and seminar. Do we as an individual, as an educator, we are also prepared ourselves to define our own training needs, which is comply with the Industry 4.0. These issues need to be bring into our policies in the institutions to be called as a smart educator, smart institutions. I think, how much time? Okay, so I've taken three, four examples to make it more clear. So, theory in action, we have discussed the different key dimensions: AI, power learning, Industry 4.0, skills. Agility and adaptability is a major challenge so as to called as a smart educator, a smart educational institute. Collaboration and partnership is still, again, it's a challenging because of many reasons. This collaboration happens with a capacity, competency. We can sign MOU with a number of institutions, but those MOUs are worth. Are those institutions, industries are able to give a substantial input to the organization to be called as a smart educator? So competency building is another a big challenge. And without competency, we cannot bring the industry, good industry in particular, in our boat. So this collaboration and partnership is a strong connection with the industry is again a challenge, but all this, I think, if we decide at the management level, it could be possible to do it. Putting theory into the practice, it requires the implementing theory requires a collaborative approach involving faculty, students, administrator, industry partners. The process involves conducting comprehensive self-assessment using the theory framework. We have just discussed few of them in detail. Identifying the area of improvements, mapping which level we stand, what is the path to proceed further, and then the continuous monitoring and evaluations are essential to ensure that successful integration of theory and its impact on the institutional readiness for the smart education. Addressing challenges in theory implementations are like potential challenges are the resistance to change. In the last lecture also there was mentioned, being a human nature, we all are resistance to change due to different fears. So it's a big challenge we need to address. Resource constraint is always challenge, particularly in the developing countries, CPSC countries. We are all facing the resource challenges. That is where probably I feel personally that the collaborative approach will help us out. Like we have seen this, I don't know whether our team have visited the COE center or not. Yes, they visited. So can we prepare a digital twin of it? Because such kind of investment requires hundreds of crores rupees. Digital twins can be made available at the cost of hardly 10-20 lakhs rupees. Using the augmented reality, virtual realities, these all infrastructure can be made to available at any place. So again, the use of technology. Technology is going to pay the way of to become a smart educator. Engaging students is another very important aspect. We have to actively engage the students in this theory implementation process. Encouraging students' feedback on the curriculum design, technology integration, and learning experiences. Fostering students-led initiatives related to the Industry 4.0, such as innovation challenges, hackathon, research projects, etc. These things to be bring into the regular part of the curriculum. And of course, we understand the role of faculty. I think it need not to be elaborated again and again. So I will leave it for faculty. Building a strong industry partnership, we have already discussed, is a very important aspect. Feedback mechanism to learn from the industry, to learn from the stakeholders is equally important to become a smart educator. These are the few steps to become a smart educator, or to convert our institutions to smart institutions for TVET education. We have to self-assessment, do the self-assessment, conduct the comprehensive self-assessment using SERI frameworks we have just discussed. In those major three blocks, the process, technology, and the organization. And then those pillars. So curriculum, teaching learning process, automation, AI machine learning, cyber security, all these have to be taken care of. We have to do the gap analysis. We have to strategically plan how to become the smart educator. Resource allocation and creation of the infrastructure is equally important. We have to do some pilot programs, implement the pilot program, the select department to become a smart educating department. And then scaling up successful those programs in the other departments or within the institutions. Monitoring and evaluation is equally important, so as to keep track of the development, what is happening in the area. Impact and benefits we all understand. We will be able to equip and train our future manpower ready for the employability, ready for the lifelong skills in the industry. I think we'll conclude here. So we have discussed in brief that what a smart education readiness index is, and a parallel has been drawn from the Smart Industry Readiness Index. Smart industry, if you see in the industry also, 100% there is no smart industry readiness, except the semiconductor industry. Semiconductor industry in the world is the only industry where there is 100% smart industry readiness. They use automation is a long story. Now they are working in the stage of the AI machine learning. All processes, all stages of from the procuring the raw materials to the end of the processes, marketing, taking feedback, everything is in the semiconductor industry is already implemented the smart industry 4.0 parameters. But many other industries also have been able to scale up, achieve it at the level of automation. In India, we are still lacking in the automation. A lot of things we need to do, particularly in the TVET institutions, to make our institution, make our industry automated industry. The automation is the one stage before this, making it a AI driven and machine learning data driven industry. So we have to first, as a TVET educator, focus on the automation. And in that stage, we have to understand all sensor, transducers, programming skills. Automation also involves the IoT. So all these need to be taken up. And remember, it has to be taken like these are the bread and butter for educator, irrespective of the discipline we belong to. We as a civil engineer cannot say that IIT is not subject to learn for a civil engineer. Similarly, IoT and AI machine learning is equally important for a mechanical engineer as well as the electronics and computer engineering. So these AI tools, the smart tools, are the true sense they are the assets for each and every discipline, irrespective of the area we are working with. So with this, I thanks Kesavan for giving me extra time. Thank you, sir.
Let's give a round of applause to our director, sir. It was such a wonderful. Because I gave him, actually the presentation is 40 minutes, but because of running out of time, so if we run out of time, we are giving 15 minutes, but I see it is a very important point. He stressed about process, technology and organization, PTO, and the band 0 to 5. I think that is a very good indicator for Industry 4.0. And next year we are embedding to Industry 5.0. So we need to be well prepared. So we have one more section. Okay. Let me introduce our speaker, Professor Dinesh Kumar, former director of NITTTR Bhopal. Professor Dinesh Kumar is a distinguished design leader with a remarkable career, spanning over 25 years, dedicated in shaping and fostering innovative design education. Currently, he serves as the director of academics at the United World Institute of Design (UID) Karanati University, where he superheads academic excellence and drives innovation across campus. Professor Kumar's leadership extends beyond UID as he also leads the foundation and design education framework. His dedication to design education is rooted sir, we are running out of time, but we
So meanwhile, I think the presentation gets uploaded, so I can share few of my ideas, so that I can save little bit time while presenting it. So thank you for having me here. Number one, I think both the sessions has been very enriching for me. I really enjoyed them because there are a lot of key takeaways, and going into detail, one, I think Amija sir kind of motivated and invigorated our spirits to look at how, as leaders, we should look at developing teams. And Tripathi sir, of course, I think you gave us a complete plan how to implement a smart institution and a smart ecosystem. So thank you, sir, for that. See, I think one of the most important thing that we have been observing of late is the disruption that we have been seeing around. So they say that we live in a world which is very uncertain. There is a terminology called VUCA, volatile, unpredictable, and complex, and
ambiguous,
right? So, and this particular acronym got testified when COVID kind of came in place, and COVID kind of disrupted the entire ecosystem, economies, institutions, organizations at a scale, at a level which I think was unimaginable to all of us. It appeared as if something from the Hollywood movie we are seeing and observing around us. So that was the time, I think, one of the key driver of success became innovation. The people who were adaptive and innovative, the organization which were adaptive and innovative, they succeeded, they rather flourished, and some of them really became a name where many of them followed. So I was just checking when I think other speakers were talking about, so from 12% of access to internet in India in 2010 or 11, it has gone up to now 52%. So that is one aspect. And then I was trying to check that in Philippines, what is the thing? In Philippines it is currently 85.16 million, which is 73%. So this is a huge change that we are observing in last decade. Suddenly you're talking about an accessibility to technology and interface which is so personalized, which is, I think, integral to you. You can forget a wallet, but you will not forget to carry a device which enables you to get connected with anybody in the world. So I think, so how do we leverage that? So probably I think my predecessors have talked about the nuances, the mechanisms, the modes through which one can get connected. So I think that is something which is very, very interesting. And another thing, I think my large part of the career has been in India, and being an Indian, I really feel proud that India is the capital of frugal innovation. So what frugal basically means to me is that when we look at our traditions, a smith on the roadside, or a wicker basket maker, you just go and try to evaluate how do they do that magical production. So you will see that there are only 5 or 6 tools and 3 and 4 techniques through which they do that. So that is the frugality one observes when you're looking at the way the business was being conducted in a country like India. And I think that is so true for almost all parts of the world when we are looking at craft-based production. So we are looking at optimization of the resources, connect with the local resources, and third, connect with the understanding of the tool and process. So everything used to happen around that. So and that's how it became very epigenetic also to all of us. The design, the innovativeness, when you go to a rural part of the India, and I often say one very simple thing, and you can testify it. Any state highway, I'm not even talking about national highway, in India, if you go 20 kilometers inside, the people are extremely innovative. They are very, very frugal. You will find them turning a simple technology into multi-dimensional interface which can do multiple jobs. So one of the most celebrated and talked about interfaces Jugaad. So that's, I think, what I feel is adopted by design education in a large way, where we try to optimize what people have been doing. So a quick, glance at how my career has been. In all these organizations, some of them are market leader in their own space. Last five of them are education institutions, which are considered as one of the finest, either in private or the government sector. And first one is also market leader in plain gold jewelry. And in fact, they have the largest production base in the Southeast Asia right now. So I kind of have been part of these ecosystems at the time when they were growing. So, and for example, if I look at the first organization, when I joined, they used to make 25 kg of gold jewelry, and when I left after 2.5 years, they were making 500 kg of gold jewelry in a month. So, becoming part of that sort of trajectory and dealing with a lot of challenges, how to address growth, how to bring people, how to expand. Similarly, NITTTR was setting up a center in Chennai, and I was part of that. And again, you're talking about raising a team and a department. And later on, the department which I constituted, it became one of the flagship department within NITTTR also, which is now known as Fashion and Lifestyle Accessories Department. Similarly, in Pearl, we set it up. I was the first person in the Jaipur team to set up a new center, and that was the first time this particular institution was going out of Delhi and starting a center. IIGJ was underperforming, sick unit, industry people approached me to take it as a challenge and kind of make it sustainable. So there, the challenges were very different than what I have dealt with in my previous 3 organizations. And an idea, I think, in my introduction, everyone has talked about. So I'll not get into detail, but yes, matching up to the expectation of creating an iconic institution with a brand equity, which is matchable to that, which is national aspiration in the design space, itself is a daunting task. And now I'm working with UID, where I'm just trying to make them get identified by quality education. So my portfolio is there as an education director. So why I'm talking about myself to an esteemed audience like this? This I could do just because I studied design. I experienced design, and design education allowed me to do all that. So those experiences I would want to share with you. So when I think we are looking at these education reforms right now, which I think not only India but the whole world is going through, we are looking at certain things which needs to be cohesive, needs to be brought together in terms of introducing life skills. So whenever I hear something like this, I find it very, very disturbing. These are something which were always present in our lifestyle, so why we have to reintroduce in a formal manner? So flexibility in learning structures. So you go back to Gurukul structure, the way India used to educate people. Again, I find it very difficult that when I think this whole thing got disconnected, when people were not very adaptive and flexible when they are talking about learning. G20 nation emphasizes that holistic development should be the way of life, and design education's role, we are looking at innovation and creativity. So basically what I have been observing with these new reforms, new policies, is that somewhere we are trying to revisit what has been the order of life in especially countries like India. I think in India, Indian education system was absolutely value-based, where you have to learn how to deal with life and be able to respond to the situations in a manner so that you can have a better livelihood and you can kind of create a sustenance around yourself. So probably if we metaphorically try to look at, I think, new education policy to everything, they're talking about the same order to be brought back in a particular manner. So kind of deconstructing this Western attitude towards education, that I am a giver, you are a receiver. So in my subsequent slides, I will talk about that, in design, we don't work on this model. This is probably one of the very few occasions when I get to interact only one way. So I think since NEP has brought in a lot of renewed way of looking at education, especially in a country like India, where this was very long pending. So there are 2-3 key things which I really want to talk about, which kind of resonates and connects with what design education have always been doing, is flexibility, inclusivity, and skill-based education. These 3 aspects are very much there in design education right from the beginning. Then vocational integration at all stages, preparing students with career-ready skill set. So this is again another aspect which I see is already available as a primary mandate of any design education ecosystem. And then design education's focus on adaptability and interdisciplinary skills aligns closely with these main objectives of NEP. So I feel one can connect with design education institutions and try to observe that. For example, day previous yesterday, I was interacting with my student cohort of 150 students studying at UG level and trying to understand what are the problems which demotivates them from learning. And believe me, the revelations were different, that we are dealing with a very different generation. Their ideology of learning, their idea of career, their idea of work-life balance is very different than what I think classically we have all understood. So when you are approaching with that lens and experience, probably you will not be able to connect back with them. So I think this I'll skip, I have already covered. So role of design education in today's world, we are looking at shaping the society, because I think when we talk about smart city or anything, design becomes integral part of it. Probably if we look around in this room, you will see that every product is designed. You're working or you are experiencing and living in an environment which is designed by designers. Probably you identify them with the brand names, where there is a design team which designs the products, and their names you don't get to know, especially in the product category. Unlike fashion design, you have labels identified by people, but in a environment around here, you can look at right from carpet to the wall panel to the lighting equipment, everything has been designed. And this shift has happened from the engineering discipline, which a fragment of it came out and became design discipline in a way. Because I think initially you were trying to make products, and later you were trying to make products which are aspirational in nature. So that's where these two disciplines connect, and probably I think design can help engineering discipline to kind of overhaul or renew their attitude towards learning. And I personally feel TVET borrows a lot from the engineering discipline, because they are the kind of arm, soul and heart of the engineering education. So this I'll skip because I think okay, so there are 2 models of design education which we normally implement. One is design process based model, which works at the UG level, which is slow paced, making individuals to experience and then intuitively respond in design. And then another model is design thinking model, which is universal application of design principles to almost any audience. So I think in TVET space, design thinking model I personally feel works quite well, and one can look at those 5 classic stages of design thinking can be implemented to enrich the TVET education format. So couple of features of design education. One of the thing is, in design education, we don't approach the student as a group of cohort or a batch. We look at it as an individual, and that's why the student-teacher ratio is kept at minimum. The highest, to my knowledge, in government ecosystem is 1:13. So 1 faculty versus 13 students. The idea is that teachers should be able to connect with almost every student and create a unique learning opportunity around them. And a whole lot of learning is very unstructured. You don't approach with a structured thing. That's why in design education, you really don't have a fixed textbook or a curriculum. You have a curriculum in terms of objectives, which is tiered from semesters to years to a final degree award, but there is nothing like that a teacher will go and teach that. So there are broad objectives which are like now known as learning outcomes, and against those learning outcomes each teacher through their experiences of industry and practice they can come and teach that. So happenstance becomes one of the cornerstone of design education, which I feel can be borrowed by the TVET format to create individuals who are competent within themselves and very different than each other, rather than trying to prepare everyone in the same manner. So VUCA I have already talked about, and then another important aspect which I feel design can lend to other disciplines is systems thinking. Systems thinking is an approach which is basically that everything is interconnected. So today my presence here and you all coming from different experiences are all interconnected because we belong to a larger ecosystem which has a lot of micro catalysts. So each of us becomes a micro catalyst in that. So for example, just to exemplify this, I'm just thinking what can be, we can look at a temple, which is a roadside temple. So it connects almost with different people in the society. Somebody driving next to it will slow down and pay respect and move. Somebody will, go make an offering. So this interconnectedness, how these people create a synergy and of a larger, philosophy and all that. That is something which we kind of borrow in design, and then we try to make products which are interconnected, not like isolated products talking about addressing the need and requirement of one person. It may be sustenance for somebody, it may be business for somebody, it may be aspiration for somebody. So the products are designed in that way. So one of the good example, or I think I find that example is very interesting, is that when Steve Jobs was conceptualizing this iPhone, at that point of time he was thinking what should be the product in terms of ideology of the product which connects all the generations. So, and through iterative process, they came across a terminology or a phrase that our products will be mindful and playful. So the mantra behind iPhone is that these products are designed to be mindful as well as playful. The whole idea is playfulness. You can see everyone plays with this, spends their time with that, and mindful is that you do a lot of mindful activities through that. So when you understand the spirit behind it, then you will be able to create a product with the similar kind of ideologies. So I think collaborative work is something which I am talking about. One of the early innovators, one of the early design thinkers is regarded as Thomas Alva Edison. I think all of us know that he invented the bulb, but I think what many of us don't know that he didn't invent the only bulb, but he invented the entire ecosystem of the bulb. So because he was sitting with engineers, scientists, electrical people, so they were working as a team. So this whole idea of innovation to happen through a larger team of different calibered people came into existence because of the design thinking methodology first adopted by people like Thomas Alva Edison. So that is something which in design happens. We collaborate with different type of people and they kind of help us create a vision which is larger in nature. So I think TVET and I think this aspect is widely covered by Tripathi sir, so I'll skip that also. So industry is something which is very symbiotic and synonym in design education. You have a large part of, if I put a percentage, roughly 40% of the, 40 to 50% of the curriculum is enriched and delivered by industry people only. It is aligned with the industry standards, industry projects. So one can learn a lot, because when industry comes with the real life challenges. So they set the brief for the class. So probably something similar can be done and adopted in the TVET education. So another aspect from design education is that you value imperfections. Design is probably the only discipline, if you go to a design class or a design studio, if you ask them what you are doing, they will immediately start showing and explaining you the process. Whereas in other disciplines, they say that abhi kuch hua nahi hai, hone dijiye, complete hoga to we'll show. So here, this whole idea of this, fearlessness and involving people to comment and critique and make it a better. It's the most important aspect, and certain imperfections becomes the feature of the design also. One of the interesting example which I think most of the colleagues from India would know, that you know a car called Bolero. So Bolero mein nut and bolt bahar dikhte hain. All the nuts and bolts fixtures are visible, because when they were designing it, they realized that I think let's highlight this as the feature of the automobile, not cover it and make it polished and all that. So that became the USP, and it connected with the another audience. So at times, valuing your imperfections and capitalizing on that creates a unique proposition for your business. So modern design education, one can look at it as experiential learning. We ensure that everything, even the theory, even the history, is to be experienced by the students. The teacher's role is to ensure how to create that learning as an experience rather than memorizing things and all that. Multidisciplinary approach, you engage multiple perspective, and within the design and outside, it is at times it becomes interdisciplinary, at times it becomes transdisciplinary. So it depends on the level at which the student is studying. So that is another aspect one can look at, and user is the key central of it. You identify and connect and try to understand and empathize with the understanding of the user who will be finally using. So you don't design something in isolation and then throw it in the market. So these are the aspects of design, and looking at critical thinking skills is another aspect which I personally feel one should be able to absorb from design education. So finally, just to summarize, I would say that I think these are the aspects. So one is experiential learning, which is learning by doing. Essentially, that's the most important thing. I think they say that if you have done something, you will remember it for a longer point of time. Unstructured learning, as I have already talked about, systems thinking, then design thinking, and then user-centered approach, empathizing with the user and valuing your imperfections, frugality in your approach, and collaborative learning. I think these are the few things which I would want to share that can be taken by the TVET ecosystem to kind of enrich it further and make it a little more engaging and experiential for the students who come to study that. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Really appreciate with the 20 minutes. So we are at our humble apologize. The question and answer section we couldn't make it, even though you are motivated to ask more questions. But please reserve your questions that we will entertain during for the delegates. You can answer. We will try to answer in the next tomorrow or day after tomorrow sections. So with this, I would like to invite Director General Colombo Plain Staff College to present a token of appreciation to our both speakers on behalf of Colombo Plain Staff College. We would like to invite Director Sir from NITTTR of Bhopal, Professor Charu, to receive a small token of appreciation from CPA. Thank you. Next, we would like to invite Professor Dr. Dheeraj Kumar. Next, we would like, thank you, sir. We would like to invite the director, sir, please. Director, sir, please. Please. Yeah. We would like to invite Professor Rajesh to get the local coordinator for the international seminar, please. And also Dr. Sanjay, please. We would like to call all the speakers to take a photo with our director, sir, here. Then we will adjourn for lunch.
Just please stand up. We will have to group.
अरे बैनर लगा दो, बैनर बैनर।
A big report, but he says brief report because a lot of key key things we have to take from here. As I discussed in the morning session, a lot of things are there, but in these 3 sessions, it's remarkable. I can appreciate the motivated talk by our own DG, CPSC Manila Dhameja sir. As usual, he's a management person. He's wonderful. Started with a wonderful story and end with a wonderful story, and that is the key thing in complete presentation. I learned from a lot, but the main key take from is this: now, how, and where. This is the wonderful thing. Now, how, and where. And if you can see there, the where is again connected to how, and this is a cycle. And this is a key takeaway from all of us, that how we can go with this. It discussed with the different trends in the TVET and the challenges and barriers to implementation of this TVET. So he just put a complete scenario how an institution can go ahead with the TVET system and how can they can impart the training, a complete leadership, how leadership changes the complete scenario. And the wonderful thing is in this keynote presentations is linked from one to another. I can see here that Professor Dhameja highlighted number of things related to the leadership and institution which requires to be developed with the leadership and the different constraints. And then Professor Tripathi started from there. He took all the things from there and he started with a wonderful innovative concept. He discussed this in the institutions since I think is October 23. He started discussing this thing with the faculty also. He given the task to the faculty also. Please develop this. And now he has come out with this in the presentation. That is a remarkable thing, and we have a applause for sir. That sir, you have presented and just give us a path, and we are discussing that how we can go ahead with this path, that converting this in the form of index, a real index. And that is the number of key things we can take away from the sir lecture. That is the one of the thing, a very important thing is we have to develop the digital resources. digital twins, and AR, VR, MR, XR, whatever you say, is the big facelift to the TVET education and educators. That is the biggest takeaway from his session. Number of things he discussed with the Siri in the practice also, implementation, challenges, and show the number of tables and the different metrics for assessment. That is very, very important. If we can go ahead with some of the things in any of the pillar, we can develop our institution and we can ready for the industry aligned education. That is the very important thing in his talk. The last thing is again link with the sir session. This is a wonderful thing that the Professor Dheeraj Kumar, we know is very creative, very good, and he was there once he was in the NIT. He supported with a number of talks here also. He was here, and his approach of design thinking and all this. And the very new thing for me is that Beleno. Always refer what is the design, how they are playing, but this is different. So I saw that Beleno is having the different nut boards, and a number of time I discussed why they are having this. Now I understand that is the one of the takeaway that from this. He is discussed about the different innovative design approaches in the pedagogy. How we discuss with the different pedagogy approaches in our institution, but design using design, how the curriculum can be developed and how the collaboration, innovation can be inculcated in the integration of technology, lifelong learning, self-learning, adaptability, agility. Lot of things he discussed, and in his short talk he discussed number of things. And the last slide what he concluded is remarkable. If you have catch that, I have catch number of slides for you. Thank you for be here, sir, and thank you one of all to be present here and part of this international seminar. We hope this conference will be very, very useful to you, and please take some of the notes from here, and as discussed in the morning by our Professor Dhameja and C.C. Tripathi sir and Sanjay Tiwari sir, please don't go with only with the discussions. Please make it happen. So how it can be happen? We have to just go with the action plan. You must have one action plan, and you have to implement that action plan in your institution. This will be a success to this conference. Thank you, one of them.